What kind of tree are you? Now, this isn't some sort of weird personality test that you would find on your mom's Facebook page. That's not what we're talking about here. This is something that Jesus calls people to consider in Matthew chapter 12. Let's start reading in verse 33. He says, either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree bad and its fruit bad. For the tree is known by its fruit. What's Jesus saying? Well, if you walk by a tree and it's got oranges hanging all over it, and another tree has apples hanging all over it, you're not going to look at the apple tree and say, oh, well, that might be an orange tree. It's just kind of strange that it's got apples in it. No, you're going to say, that's an apple tree, that's an orange tree. That's just what makes sense, because the fruit that they bear shows what they really are on the inside. And Jesus is challenging people, saying, what kind of fruit is on your branches? Because that is what shows what is in your heart. That shows who you truly are, particularly the fruit that comes from our mouths. So let's keep reading verse 34. He says, you brood of vipers, how can you speak good when you are evil? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The good person out of his good treasure brings forth good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure brings forth evil. So he's challenging people, saying, you want people to think you're an orange tree, but you got apples hanging all on your branches. He's saying, you want people to think you're a good person, but what's coming from your mouth is revealing who you truly are. If there's all sorts of wickedness coming from your mouth, it shows that in your heart there is that same wickedness. If you're godly on the inside, then it's godliness that will come out of your mouth. We may fake it for a while, but ultimately, if we are wicked on the inside, that is what is going to flow out of our mouths. So what is it that's coming out of your mouth? Are they words that build other people up, or are they words that tear people down? Are they words of encouragement to others, or are they words that hurt those around you? Are they lifting burdens off of people like Jesus does, or are they laying burdens down on people? Do they make people feel valued and loved, or do you mock people or abuse people? I would venture to say that this, in modern day terms, applies not only to our mouths, but also to our thumbs. What are you texting? What are you posting on social media? What is it that you are speaking, so to say, even if it's online, even if it's through a text message? Is it something that honors Christ, or is it vulgar and ungodly? Is it full of the fruits of the Spirit, like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control? Or is it harsh? Is it combative, angry, lashing out? Is it hasty? Is it heavy-handed? We have to ask these questions. What is coming out of our mouths? Look at verse 36. This is a very, very serious thing. It says, I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Every careless word, this literally means every lazy word, every word that just seems insignificant, that's just slipping out of your mouth, you will be judged by that one day. Now, we are judged or condemned based on our position before God, based on whether we have put our faith in Christ or whether we're relying on our own righteousness that will fall short and be judged by that. But ultimately, he's saying what comes out of our mouth, the words that we say, show us exactly who we are in our hearts. And when we stand before God, if it is wickedness that has been coming out of our mouth, then it is wickedness in our hearts. And it is that wickedness that the Lord will judge on that day. But if He has transformed our hearts and made us new, that shows up in how we speak to other people. That shows up in how we post on social media and how we talk to one another, how we build one another up with our words. What kind of tree are you? What kind of fruit are you bearing? Are you showing wickedness that is inside of you? Or are you showing that on the inside there is genuinely a godliness that the Lord is working in your heart, that you can see by the words that are coming out of your mouth.